Hi, I'm Cheyenne Dirksen-Schroeder, Assistant Editor of the Hutchinson News. Today we are talking to different candidates running for offices here that affect many of our readers. So first of all, tell me your name, where you're from, what are you running for?
My name is Tyler Ruzich. I'm a Republican from Prairie Village, Kansas, and I'm running for governor of the state of Kansas.
Okay, excellent. Now first of all, I want to kind of get a gauge for your frustrations. Tell me what's not working that you think that the governor might have some impact on.
Absolutely. One of the frustrations is I really believe that this state, the government, not just the offices of governor, but the state legislature is out of touch with, for example, public school students. I've been in the public school system my whole life, and also being a public school student through the Brownback experiment, and it's something I really pride myself on. I've had so many great experiences from it, and so to me, I really feel that it's important to make sure that students like me who are educated in the public school system have resources at their disposal to succeed. That teachers also have those resources to maximize the student learning experience, and that administrators as well can help their schools be run well and efficiently. So I really do feel that what the governor, as well as what overall the state government needs, is someone with good perspective, someone who's had these experiences, someone who's really lived through and has been educated through really the disaster that's happened during the Brownback-Collier administration in public education. In fact, the state Supreme Court said the way that we fund public education in the state of Kansas is not aligned with our state's constitution, and that we need now a lot of money to meet the standards of the Supreme Court. So that's kind of been a really big frustration with me. I feel there's not enough good perspective that's coming from students. It's coming from young people in government, especially education policy, and it's just overall that that older politicians, you could even say in particular, have been trying to root out young people from getting involved. This was, running for governor was not just a means of, getting out young people, but it was also a way to use this as a platform to speak on issues that are important to me, to reach out to voters and, young people in particular. And we've seen the age restrictions that have been attempted to pass that have failed, and now they're calling a big old committee, a conference committee over it. So it's just frustration of priorities, specifically education. We've decided to put age restrictions for governor, and whether you or not you can drive golf carts at night ahead of the agenda on discussing education. So to me, we need to put that first, and we need to look at what students, the experience that they can do, maximizing the learning experience that teachers can give to students, making sure administrators have resources at their disposal to run their schools effectively, and overall, public education is a driver of the state's economy, a driver of the state's future. And that's kind of at least one of the main frustrations, one of many that I have with really how the state government has functioned.
And now, if elected, what are some ways that you specifically could change those things?
So when I'm elected, I believe first and foremost that we need to increase education spending. I believe the best way to do that would be through a small corporate tax increase. Yes, I'm a Republican, but I do believe that in order to have public education, state Medicaid, for example, other governmental programs, we need to have monies to give to schools, to give to institutions and programs, so that they can have resources that they can use to succeed, to run the education system or Medicaid system in particular well. So I believe that a small corporate tax increase, excluding those with businesses with less than 50 employees, LLCs, sole proprietors, small businesses, more the bigger companies, I think paying a little bit more, excluding smaller businesses. I think we're going to see a steady stream of revenue coming in, while also it's just a small increase. We're not deterring business growth. Kansas can be open for business, and we can also, again, make businesses who use the economic and natural resources that Kansas provides them, they can pay a little up. We let, businesses off a little bit too easy. People who live here in Kansas, individuals have to pay an income tax, and I think corporations who call Kansas home, who use the resources that we provide them, they should pay up too. They should contribute to the state's economy. They should contribute to education, to Medicaid, you name it. So I think a small moderate tax increase is the best way to do that, especially on secondary education and elementary education in particular.
Okay. Now we are following up on a presidential election year. Tell me about voter apathy. Traditionally, it's difficult to get voters to turn out. What steps are you taking to make sure that people can get out and vote?
Being out as much as I can, trying to make sure that I have an online presence, trying to get sort of developed when we get the running, get a running mate chosen, going to be launching Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages so that people connect through social media. I have a website, ruzichforgovernor.com, that anyone can access. So there's really that online presence. But this is a campaign, my campaign in particular, has received national attention. And as a result, younger people who seem to be some of the more apathetic voting blocs now have a reason to discuss this. When I wasn't part of this, when Jack Bergeson, Ethan Randless, when they weren't in this race, people my age, 18 to 25, didn't have a reason to be going out campaigning, in this election. Probably half of them knew who Chris Kobach or Jeff Collier or Jim Ward, Carl Brewer even were. But now we're giving them, as a candidate here, whether they support me or not, we're giving them that outlet of younger people to get involved. Because they see someone my age is getting involved in this election. I may not agree with them, but they're mentioning the names of people who I didn't consider, or that elections are coming up. I guarantee you very few young people probably even consider that you can pre-register when you're 17. There's so many aspects that we're trying to educate younger voters and voters of all ages in particular. And I think my campaign is giving them that outlet, that reason to get involved. And I think if it wasn't for us, for younger people getting involved in this election in particular, during a midterm seasons where voter turnout is usually lower, I think, as a result, young people taking that initiative, we're going to see voter turnout be a lot higher than what we would see in a normal midterm. So I'm really giving them that outlet towards getting involved and learning more about the election.
Now, even if you aren't elected, do you see this as sort of a turning point or a watershed for younger voices to enter into political roles that they may not have considered before?
Absolutely. If it's not successful, don't win the primary or don't win the general election, whatever it may be, Kansas has always been, we call it the heartland. It is the beating heart of this country where change always seems to happen. You could go back to John Brown, you could go back to the border disputes from the Civil War where Kansas, surrounded by, slavery and southern states and hatred and racism, Kansas stood firm as a free state, a place where people could grow, we could be a place of equality, and, it was really a beating heart of a time of great change and peril in this country. Well, I don't think we're at that type of amount of peril. We're at a time of great change, we're right in the middle of it all, and people are starting to turn their heads, looking at what's happening in Kansas. Younger people getting involved, looking also what's happening in Florida with the Parkland students being so involved, on issues that are important to them. What I see is that even if I am not elected, going back to the question, this is a movement that is going to continue on. Young people are going out and voting. They're not being slacktivists. They're being activists because of what we're doing. We're giving them a reason to vote. Now they're excited to. They want to say, oh, hey, I'm going to go vote for that teen candidate. Or, you know what, I didn't really have a reason to vote or really even know there was going to be an election or a primary. But the teen, Tyler or whoever, it's because of him is why I know why this is going on. It's really change happens when we go out and vote. Whether it's going to be this election, if I'm elected, or if I'm not elected, people are going to realize how important it is to participate in democracy and exercise their democratic right to vote. And I think I give them that outlet, and this campaign, successful or not, is going to lead to massive change, not just in the state of Kansas, but throughout the country.
Great. Okay, well, hey, thank you so much for speaking with me. And thank you so much for watching.